While World Prematurity Day is observed on the 17th of November each year to raise awareness on preterm births worldwide. According to the World Health Organization, 15 million babies are born preterm worldwide and more than 1 million die as a result. Babies who survive often have lifelong health problems, among them intellectual disabilities, vision and hearing loss. So to discuss this matter further, we're joined now by pediatrician specialist Dr. Nobuntu Nkumanda. Thanks a lot, Doctor, for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks, babe.
I must ask you, when it comes to the South African statistics, how are we faring in terms of preterm babies?
Well, we're also faring, according to the world statistics, because it's 1 in 10, which is 10%. You do get some reporting that in the private sector it's about 14%, and in the public it's about 23%. But on average, we're between 10 and 12% in South Africa.
Sure. And then when it comes to the causes thereof, I mean, many individuals, they don't expect it, right? And some people actually think there's a cause to this, or people may feel, I did something wrong to contribute to this. Are there any causes?
No. Well, 50% of the time, and maybe even more, we don't really have a cause. But then again, there are things that you can prevent, or that can assist you to predict whether the mom is going to go into preterm labor, like the age. The younger the mom is, and, the extreme older moms, they tend to go into preterm labor.
What's extreme older moms?
Well, you know what, above 35, just above 35, you can go into preterm labor. And then also the number of babies that you are carrying. If you're carrying one baby, the chances are less than when you're carrying like 3 or even just, twins. So there's that. And then there's the maternal factors as well, the anatomy of the mom, her cervix, the uterus, if there are any problems there, then chances are that they are going to predispose the mom to go into, to have a preterm baby or go into preterm labor. And then infection. Infection can cause a mom to go into preterm labor. So there are many things, baby, mom, there are many factors. But as I said, 50% of the time, nobody really knows.
I mean, I'm looking at how do you then counter it? I mean, does it mean that women must really look, and we always say this, that don't worry about age, wait and, have a baby when you're ready, but must women now start looking at their age and saying, and actually doing the whole biological clock thing? And how do they start avoiding it? Because it seems as though as much as you can avoid it, we must take into cognizance that age does play a role, as well as your anatomy.
Yeah. Okay, so, I mean, yes, age does play a role, but then how you would avoid it is book early. Or even before you conceive, go and see someone and, just tell them, I would like to have a baby, and then to prepare for the baby adequately. And when you do fall pregnant, to actually go to the clinic, go to the hospital, go see your gynae, just so that the right things are done at the right time. Another thing that contributes is actually even, what we call preeclampsia or hypertension in pregnancy, diabetes in pregnancy. Those things can be detected. They can be detected in, even way before you go into preterm labor, and, you can get given medication so that you don't end up in that situation.
Let's talk about the lifelong effects of it, because we don't pay to mind that there are some significant effects of having a preterm child.
That's the thing. People are very concerned about, is the baby going to live? You get a preterm baby, 25 weeks, and the question is my baby going to live? Your baby will probably live. I mean, from 27 weeks, the survival rate is about 69%.
Okay, you're going to have to give it to me in months. What is 27 weeks now?
In terms of months, I think if you just divide by 4. But I mean, because we don't really work in months.
So you all work in weeks. Yeah.
We work in weeks. Viability, and this is whether or not the baby is going to live. I mean, viability, whether or not the baby is going to live. That is around 24, 25 weeks. And then 27 weeks.
So just over 6 months, or just under 6 months.
Okay, yeah, you could say that. Yeah. But then from 27 weeks, I mean, the chances that your baby will live are about 90%. And this is not to encourage anyone to have a baby at 27 weeks because of what you're asking me now in terms of what are the long-term effects, the disability that will then be associated, the neurological disability, hearing, vision. I mean, currently, we had another baby at the hospital that I work at who was born at 24, 25 weeks. She did well. She was about 550 grams. She did quite well. but she had a PDA. She had, like, I can just call it like a heart, a hole in the heart. And that then made her stay on oxygen for quite some time. And you don't want the oxygen because of the effects that it has in the eye. A good example would be Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder was a premature baby.
Sure.
Yes, and hence his eyesight, because the free radicals from oxygen can actually just damage the eye.
So then do you encourage parents, for example, I'm thinking of parents who've carried, or mother who's carried this child, let's say for about 22, 23 weeks, and now she goes into preterm labor. Do you encourage her to actually carry the child? What happens then? I mean, do you discourage? What happens in that instance?
It's counseling. You talk to the mom. I mean, there are instances where you actually can't do anything about it. Like if the mom has preeclampsia, her blood pressure is off the roof, and the baby needs to be delivered. The baby needs to be delivered to save the mom's life. In that case, you talk to the mom. You explain to her why the delivery needs to happen and what it is that she should expect,
It's a very difficult conversation to actually have, because it's one that affects many people, millions and millions of people, and some of them do not necessarily know that actually there's nothing I could have done, or there are instances where I need to get myself checked out and be realistic with what the time is. Unfortunately, we have run out of time, you and I, but it doesn't take away from the significance of the subject. And thanks a lot, Doctor, for joining us this afternoon.